Hello, Malone University. Welcome to the Inside the Competition NCAA Tournament Bracket Special. I am Chase Gerber here with Seth Bird and guest star Brooks Anderson. We are on to the West region now of the NCAA Tournament. And guys, I think top to bottom, this is the most stacked region in the tournament so far. Wisconsin, they're a very strong one. Arizona, probably the strongest two. 4 and 5 seeds, Carolina and Arkansas, both can do big things. So this is probably the strongest bracket to me, in my opinion. What would you say, Seth? Would you agree with that?
Oh, definitely. Wisconsin playing at a high level, Big Ten champs. You have Oklahoma State, who could be scary. Yes, the record's 18-13, but LeBryant Nash and Forte is a very good three-point shooter, could cause some problems in this bracket. VCU and Ohio State, especially Ohio State with D'Angelo Russell, the best Big Ten freshman player this year. I mean, there's a lot of teams that you could really like, and BYU, who gave Gonzaga trouble, who's a 2 seed. So a very interesting bracket.
Right, definitely. And like Ohio State, too. I know we're Buckeyes fans. Maybe we're a little homer on that. But I really think they're definitely the strongest 10 seed. I mean, that Big Ten is not an easy bracket at all. Brooks, I know sleepers. I know you said you have a really interesting one. Let's hear what your big sleeper surprise is for this one.
If we're looking at, I mean, this is a really problematic region. We've got a lot of possible upsets here. I think if we're looking at a possible bracket buster, I think it's going to be BYU. I think BYU is going to come out of their play-in game against Ole Miss, and they just, I mean, a team like BYU that has 25 wins is, I mean, that's a solid team to be playing in a play-in game. So if they get hot, that's easily a team that can go into Xavier and knock them off and be moving on to the second round.
Definitely, and I don't think we've really seen a play-in team really go deep in the tournament so far. I think it'd be really interesting to see if, even with that extra game, can they come in hot off their win, get a win there, and then advance to the round of 32. On the other side here, Arkansas and North Carolina, they're both facing 12 and 13 seeds. I guess, which one do you guys think would be most likely to get knocked off there? Seth, what would you say? I think I already know your answer.
Oh, that's a very easy answer. Arkansas and Wofford, but Harvard has done pretty well. So, I mean, it's a tough call, honestly. But since Marcus Page appears healthy, I really don't think North Carolina will lose. I mean, him the way he's playing right now, especially his run in the ACC tournament. Bryce Johnson playing really well, scoring 16 points and about 8 rebounds a game in the ACC tournament, doing a very good job. The Tar Heels are playing at a high level. I don't think they're going to lose. Arkansas, I just don't like the way they played against Kentucky, getting blown out in the second half, and just they're a little too fast-made prone, turnover prone, but so is Carolina. But I don't really see any of those teams losing, to be honest.
Definitely. I agree with you about Carolina, and my totally unbiased opinion, Carolina, you got to watch out for them. They are hot coming off that ACC tournament. I would definitely not want to be facing them in the tournament so far. The top seed, Wisconsin, a lot of people have been saying this is the team that is best equipped to knock off Kentucky. Brooks, what do you think about that?
I totally agree. And coming from a Maryland fan who saw Mike Terps knock off Wisconsin in the regular season this year, I totally think, despite that game and despite Wisconsin looking a little shaky, I think if anyone's going to do it, I think it's going to be Wisconsin. I think with Frank Kaminsky and just the guys they have around him, and of course, just the coaching that has been there for a long, long time, I think Wisconsin's just got a great chance running deep and knocking off Kentucky.
Right, but then at the opposite end of this region, Arizona, probably the strongest 2 seed in the entire tournament. Seth, do you think Arizona has the chance to knock off Wisconsin and get to the Final Four?
Well, they definitely have coaching. Sean Miller's done an excellent job. They've been Sweet 16 almost every year. Top 10 team usually in the rankings every year with that he's been at the helm. Very good team. I would really love to see them actually finally get past and get to the Final Four, because they're a top 5, top 10 team. They never really amount to their potential, but TJ McConnell's such a great point guard, and they have a great freshman as well. Not just like Ohio State has a freshman, D'Angelo Russell, but they'll definitely be a very, very good team. And it'll be a wild final for the Wild West if Wisconsin and Arizona play.
Definitely. I think definitely in the Elite Eight, that's the matchup to watch if those two teams do end up facing each other. But you never know. Like I said, North Carolina is really hot right now. They could definitely come in and knock off Wisconsin. But before we wrap up this region, let's get your predictions. Seth, who do you think's coming out of this West region?
I got the Arizona Wildcats. TJ McConnell's going to be a little too much for Wisconsin, too much speed, especially they can not turn the ball over. And if Wisconsin has a bad shooting day from 3, they could spell some troubles.
All right. Brooks, who's your pick to come out of the West.
I got Wisconsin in the Final Four. Got them knocking off Arizona in a great Elite Eight game. Frank the Tank and his boys are just gonna steamroll them, I think, and that's my pick in the national championship game.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I have Wisconsin coming out of this one, but after a very close matchup with Arizona, it took me a very long time. This is the hardest pick for me in my bracket. I got Wisconsin coming out, though. Frank Kaminsky, I love him as a player. I think Wisconsin's going to come out. Before we go real quick, Ohio State, do you guys think that they could possibly make a run in the tournament?
Absolutely. I think Ohio State has as good of a chance as anybody. I think a 10 seed was a little low for their selection on Selection Sunday, and I think Ohio State, they proved in Big Ten play that, yeah, they had some shaky losses, but they also blew out some really good teams, and I think VCU looked a little shaky against Dayton in their conference championship in the A-10, and I think Ohio State could definitely pull some surprises there.
Yeah, I agree with you. The only thing working against it, like we said, Arizona's a very strong 2 seed. They'd be going up against them in the round of 32, so I can't see Ohio State getting past Arizona any way I look at it. But, you know, with the team they have, they're a team that could just get really hot and just make a really deep run into the tournament. But we'll have to see. But that is going to wrap up our West region. Tune in on our Facebook page to see the rest of our regional previews. I am Chase Gerber with Inside the Competition. Thanks for joining us.